You know, folks, I can't lie. I was actually very doubtful that JiDion would actually do what he did to his channel. I'm actually still kind of shocked in more ways than one that I'll hopefully get into this video. But I think once you know the backstory about the whole thing, I think it's actually for the best reasons. And it's actually a net positive for both him and his community, and actually every one of us little gremlins who are terminally online. So a quick little recap for those of you who for some reason have no idea who JiDion is. He's a pretty big YouTuber with almost 8 million subscribers. His videos always did very well numbers wise, and he was mostly known for his prank content that he would make, where he would do various pranks to unsuspecting people, and they would vary when it came to locations and ideas. I mean, if you ever had the opportunity to watch the absolute box of chocolates that was his video, he would do some of the most jaw-dropping and insane pranks that I've ever seen on the platform. I remember watching them with my wife almost all in one sitting and just being amazed at the fact that he was doing things that for the first time in a very long time would keep my mouth wide open in shock, as he did some of the most absolutely savage level pranks that personally I've ever seen. Now, I must confess, I've never been a huge fan of pranks. Watching them always made me feel like I needed a shower afterward, you know? It's like witnessing someone steal candy from a baby, except the candy is their dignity. Now, JiDion took pranks to a whole new level, okay? He was towing the line between comedy and chaos a lot, to the point where he was threatened numerous times, and I think he even got arrested at one point. However, the JiDion saga was not all bad. I actually remember the first time I was introduced to him. It was after watching a video of him visiting what was supposed to be, quote unquote, the most racist town in America, where he went to a town in Arkansas and met up with the community there, and he was genuinely shocked at how it actually went for himself. And the saga that transpired from that video was absolutely epic. And if there's one relic from the quote unquote, I guess, old JiDion, we can call him now, that deserves a spot in your YouTube Hall of Fame, I absolutely think it's that gem. I think if you could get past his old antics and realize how forward thinking that video was, I think you could get a pretty great experience just from watching it. And I know me personally, it definitely put a smile on my face. It kind of restored my faith in humanity a little bit for whatever is left in the negative at this point. However, with all that said, that JiDion is no more. And as of the day of me recording this, JiDion has officially deleted absolutely every single video he's ever made on his channel. And he just left this video on his channel titled "Why I Deleted All My Videos." Now, what's super interesting about this video is that not only does he articulate why he felt the need to do so, but he does so in a way that kind of like walks you through his mindset step by step. He uses scriptures in the Bible, and he shows why he felt convicted to do so. It was like a YouTube Sunday sermon. So before I say anything else, I absolutely urge you to go watch that video. I think no amount of rambling can really capture the essence of what went down there. And I think you'd be doing yourself a positive thing if you actually tune into the entire thing, because me summarizing it would probably be unfair to the sensitivity of this topic. I just don't think overall that I could properly portray like the entirety of his convictions. So with that caveat out of the way, assuming you saw it, I want to say first of all that I do completely understand why people think it was like an insane decision to do what he did. I mean, yes, in more ways than one. I can see how you would think that, actually. I mean, the absolute boatloads of influence, money that this guy just intentionally walked away from is probably incalculable. I mean, let's be honest, this guy was growing at such an accelerated pace, and many argued that he wasn't even close to his peak yet, considering the potential of growth and collabs that this guy had. I mean, his channel could have possibly reached Mr. Beast levels of fame, and you could even argue that he already was, considering his view count to sub count ratio. So I mean, when a JiDion video dropped, it was like an event, you know, especially his videos of him catching the predators. Oh man, I might even argue that it was better than Chris Hansen's show, just for the added level of humor that was in it. I mean, chef's kiss, you know? It was like catching predators with like a side of improv comedy that was like so satisfying to watch. Anyway, enough gushing. I think in one hand, again, I can see why people are fuming at the idea of him doing that in retrospect. But here's the deal, guys. It's his channel and it's his digital playground. Whether it's for better or worse, it's his call. Now, a lot of us are in this YouTube daydream, right? We're envisioning the fame and glory, and anything that deviates from that dream feels like a cold shower. And trust me, at my level, finding someone who thinks that this was a good idea is rarer than finding a unicorn in a UFO. I know it sucks, and luckily these videos, I'm sure, are archived somewhere for our future enjoyment, but outside of that, if someone feels compelled to pursue more positive ventures, It's just a net positive for all of us, and whether you want to accept it or not. Even in the video, JiDion talks about how exactly his antics affected people's livelihoods and their potential careers. And if not for nothing, I think he deserves more props for at least recognizing that his antics actually had more negative ramifications and detrimental effects that I don't think us as like casual viewers of YouTube aren't aware of, that are not so hilarious. So I don't know about you guys, but if my behavior personally caused someone to lose their job, I'm not gonna lie, I personally would lose sleep and I'd be ashamed of myself. So again, kudos to him for hitting us all with that mental wake-up call. And it's funny because I was just talking about in the last video about how difficult this economy is to live in. So just imagine causing someone else to lose their job or their careers. And I mean, the way things are nowadays, I mean, you might as well kill them, especially if they had kids or family to take care of. Yeah, you best believe at the very least, I'm going to be having nightmares about that. So for him to actually go on record and ask for forgiveness and even recognizing that, you know, is already leaps ahead of what the pranking community can ever end up in, which, by the way, is like the best case scenario for a prankster on YouTube. He could have ended up dead or seriously injured. And I don't think you can be objective and say that what JiDion doing was in any way, shape, or form safe. Entertaining? No debate there. We can't pretend like his luck wouldn't eventually ran dry. I mean, if you've been on YouTube long enough, I'm sure you've heard the stories of pranksters either getting seriously hurt, shot, or even worse. So thank the Lord he let it go, because who knows what could have happened and what he potentially could have saved himself from in the future. And I mean, look, I'm a fellow card carrier of Team Christianity. So I'm absolutely stoked about this, and I'm super proud of him. I think his drive, his creativity, his ambition being translated over into preaching something that I think is objectively good, at least good in the sense if you're being honest with yourself, and it's a benefit to him and society, is something that I think we can all take inspiration from as fellow Christians. And I know it's personally encouraged me. I feel like it's easy for us to play like closeted Christians sometimes, especially when we feel like the only way we can get our names out there is if we quote unquote play the game of YouTube. And that's the only way to do things if we're going to go viral, despite us maybe possibly violating our personal beliefs or sitting against our faith. So I think this can be a wake up call for a lot of us on top of that as well, to just turn away from that mentality and realize that we can just stay true to the word and still be fruitful in our endeavors online. You know, even down here in the YouTube trenches that I'm in, you know, I've had some so-called professed Christians doing some pretty vile things just for a little touch of that sweet drug we call clout. And it's absolutely embarrassing. No matter how much you gain, it means nothing at the end of the day, and you know that. So just stay true. And if God decides to use you in the way, then so be it. But if you're just going to sin against him and it works out for you, you're going to give in. And before you know it, you'll do anything and you'll stand for nothing. You'll lose all sense of purpose, in my opinion, because you're just a slave to clout, money, and whatever makes you viral next. So don't be discouraged, be encouraged. I think this is a learning lesson for all of us. We can stop sapping along and pretending like, oh, woe is me, YouTube won't push our content as Christians. Nah, no matter what happens to any of our channels, the truth never changes. So just have some fun, man. I think that's what it's all about. And I mean, but hey, what do I know? I ain't JiDion, right? Maybe you know better than me. But if you want to give God a good laugh, go ahead and tell him your plans for 2024 in the comments section. Anyway, guys, if you appreciated this video, go ahead and drop a like. And if you didn't like it, feel free to dislike. I won't take it personally. Hit that subscribe button if you're feeling generous. It's absolutely free. And I will be catching you all very soon, hopefully for a podcast. I know I've been lacking lately on it. But hey, you should know, if you do even watch these videos or you're tuning into me, that I'm taking a little bit of a break. So I do appreciate y'all's understanding. So I will catch you very, very soon. Like I said, appreciate you. Goodbye and God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.